Welcome to your hometown pub. Open 7 days a week, the pub in LJ is your happy hour hangout. They offer a variety of dishes to satisfy every palate, and their friendly staff is here to ensure a wonderful time. Join them for daily happy hour specials Monday through Thursday. And don't forget, every Wednesday is Wing Wednesday with $1 wings all day long. Located at 941 Maddox Drive in East LJ. Open Sunday through Wednesday till midnight, Thursday through Saturday till 2 a.m. The pub in LJ, where every visit feels like home. You snoozed twice this morning, spilled your coffee once, and you've already blamed last night's referee for your morning mood.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's time to embrace the chaos and step into the madness.
Bro, you about to see a side of me you didn't even know existed.
Featuring guests who are over-caffeinated and less reasonable than the average person.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Come on, man. Are you serious? Ugh.
Fans, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Welcome to the show.
So buckle up. It's time for hot takes and hot mics. This is the Morning Rant, where the only thing more unpredictable is Dave before his third cup of coffee.
I just felt like running.
On WPGY, the Sports Pig.
What's up, North Georgia? Dave Garner with you right here on a Tailgate Thursday, presented by your friends at Green Heating and Cooling. Once again, they've been getting it done since 1971. They can get it done for you, too. Call Green Heating and Cooling today. Again, Green Heating and Cooling, a tradition of comfort. Hey, we got a great show, man, over the next 60 minutes. A lot of things going on in the world of area high school sports, man. Final Fours cranking up tonight all over the state of Georgia. And we've got several area high schools involved in that. Later in the program, coming up here in a few short minutes, we'll be joined by Adam Williams. He's the head coach of the Pickens High Dragons. His team heading over to Calhoun later this afternoon to take on the Yellow Jackets, again, in their home park just across the way over in Gordon County there. So we appreciate you guys being with us. We will hear from Coach Adam Williams coming up a little bit later on in the show. Also, our Tomahawk take coming up as we join our Braves insider, Will Cooper, the Golden Boy, logging in right here with the Braves hat and all ready to rock and roll, a time zone away, but he is up and ready to roll, man. I thought I was going to have to do that Tomahawk take without you for a moment. Man, you're right on the spot, man.
You know, it's time zones suck. Sometimes in your head, you listen to the show out of your time zone and you're like, okay, it's going to be 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then it's 9 o'clock and, you had a leisurely morning and woke up about 20 minutes ago, getting ready for the normal day.
More like 2 minutes ago, man. Come on now, man. Come on now. Tell the truth. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. No, again, our Braves insider, Will Cooper, is here. We'll have the Prep Rally high school roundup segment, as we mentioned. We'll have Coach Adam Williams on with us. And the Cooper Predictor later in the show as well. Again, make that money this weekend on tennis, baseball, you name it. We're also going to talk some horse racing on the show. The Preakness is on Saturday. The PGA Championship is this weekend, kind of getting underway, I guess, today. And the big news tonight, of course, the NFL schedule release. I was talking with Big John yesterday, and we mentioned that, what other league in the world makes a primetime event out of just releasing their schedule, right? I mean, the NFL is the one league that seems to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, they are, and I think it speaks volumes to the fact that the NFL is king when it comes to leagues. I mean, we can talk about how much we enjoy MLB baseball, NBA basketball, NHL hockey, but the reality is that the NFL, you can be obsessed with the draft, you can be obsessed with the schedule release, you can be obsessed with the preseason, obviously the regular season and postseason. It's just a year-round thing for fans. Maybe a small sect of people do for college football as well.
Sure.
But not nearly as much at the number of the NFL where they'll throw schedule releases on a primetime slot.
Right, and we'll have to see if they do the swanky little videos like all the teams. A lot of the teams were putting out the little videos, taking jabs at the other teams, on their schedules and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see what all goes down with these teams releasing their schedules and, of course, the league putting it out there. We talked about it yesterday, the row of international games taking place this year. Of course, the opening one in week one, the Niners Raiders and Rams over in Melbourne, Australia. So totally, we talked about, speaking of time zones, we're talking about that. It's a whole nother day over there. I mean, like, you talk about an adjustment that it's going to be for some of these teams to have to travel to Australia. Of course, you got the Ravens and the Cowboys in week 3 down in Rio de Janeiro, down in Brazil. Then starts the string of London games. The Falcons, of course, a little bit closer to home, taking on the Bengals in week 9. In Madrid, they are the Spain game this year. The Pats and Lions week 10. Back over in Germany, over in Munich, and then Mexico City in week 11 with the Vikings and Niners there. So again, a couple 49er appearances. I know that'll make somebody in your household happy, I guess.
I don't know about the fact that the international games being on is a delineator over happiness or not. I know the players.
At least they'll be nationally televised.
Bag. Yeah, that is true. Now the 49ers are on all the time anyway.
Yeah.
But to your point, nationally televised. I know players sometimes hate it. Depending on who it is. I've heard a lot of people complain about the British schedule when they have to go to London.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how difficult it would be for Australia. I guess they decided that the western side of the country was going to be easier.
Yeah.
For some reason, like West Coast teams.
Right. Yeah. They figure that's probably the quickest way around, but really you're on the opposite side of the globe. I mean, I think I don't have a globe in here, but I'd say you're. So at that point, yeah. But maybe they figured, West Coast would be easier to jet around that way with the rotation of the Earth. I guess I don't know. So how those plane flights work out sometimes. But anyway, nonetheless, the international schedule, of course, being released yesterday by the NFL, and of course, all the other team schedules expected to be released later today or this evening. And again, we'll talk more about that obviously tomorrow. Hey, speaking of a big event tomorrow for the program right here, we will be at Bradley's Bar and Grill in East Cobb off of Lower Roswell Road tomorrow from 10 to 1. We're going 3 hours tomorrow, baby. So for all of you out there that can tune in, again, download the app or listen to us online at sportspigradio.com, which a lot of you are listening to probably right now. A lot of you out there, of course, watch the shows on YouTube, and we appreciate that. We're getting a lot of social media views and things like that. But again, tomorrow we'll be live on the air from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. So join us if you're anywhere around East Cobb tomorrow. For all of our friends in Cherokee and some of the surrounding areas, come on by. It's not just going to be John and I sitting at a table outside of an empty place, right? I mean, it's going to be a brunch and lunch event. There's going to be some raffles going on. Again, John's giving away some jerseys. We're going to be selling, some raffle tickets for that for charity. Again, we're benefiting Boys and Girls Clubs of North Georgia. We're benefiting the Appalachian Children's Center in Ellijay, which is a multidisciplinary, organization for child advocacy. They conduct forensic interviews. They do a lot of stuff to help the court system to fight against child abuse. And then also the Cobb County Police Athletic League. Again, the Cobb PAL is another charity that we're supporting as well, of course, being right there in their backyard. So we encourage anyone that's in the area or that can make it tomorrow. If you happen to be off tomorrow, you're working a half day or whatever, come on down, enjoy brunch and or lunch at Bradley's Bar and Grill. It's Cobb County's #1 dive bar. It's been their upscale dive bar, I should say, since 1998. John Capone, again, our friend, and everyone looking forward to a big event tomorrow, so come on down and join us. However, if you can't be there, we certainly understand it is a work day for a lot of people, but at least tune in, give us a listen, and we'll try to have the show uploaded later in the afternoon as well. We'll have 3 hours to upload, so it may not be available on YouTube till later in the evening tomorrow night, because it does take a little bit of time sometimes to get those shows up there. But we're looking forward to a great event tomorrow as part of our Friday happy hour at Bradley's Bar and Grill. Hey, today is our Tailgate Thursday. In a few moments, we're going to kind of have our Tomahawk take because we do have our Braves insider, Will Cooper, right here on the program. We're going to talk some high school baseball as well later in the show as Pickens High School head coach Adam Williams. I'm getting choked up here with all the allergies, man. It's still, even though it's warming up, it's a little bit cool and breezy today, but the allergies are still out there. So,
well, you start talking about how the success of Pickens baseball has been since Coach Adam Williams, a personal friend of mine, has been. It chokes me up too sometimes when you think about it. So
I'm just choked up, man, talking about those Dragons, baby, and those Yellow Jackets and those Etowah Eagles and those Cartersville Purple Hurricanes and everyone. Again, a lot of stories right now coming out. One of those stories, and you know what? I'm not going to make light of it because it is kind of close to home for us. You can look it up online. And I will say there is a high school baseball team. There's an unfortunate story in the news about one of the coaches for one of the teams in Cobb County, and we'll leave it at that because I'm not going to call it out by name. But again, that apparently had a DUI hours before his team took the field in the quarterfinals in the last round, and they won. So they are in the semifinals. But again, you can look that up. Kind of an unfortunate story, but there's a lot of things going on around that. So there is some news. We don't focus on the negative, especially when it comes to high school sports. So again, I'm not going to indulge that at all. But I will say there are some different storylines going in to the Final Four for high school baseball, which starts tonight, basically, for most all of Georgia.
Yeah, just two quick thoughts. First of all, you said you're not going to focus on the negative. That's unfortunate because I thought, we would cover the Falcons at least somewhat in, this show.
Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Oh,
second of all, you said that you're going to be on for 3 hours tomorrow. I'm impressed. You're not usually known for your stamina, so that should be fun to see how you do. But yeah, look, a lot of local success in the high school baseball world. That they typically in our area, we typically have some great products that come out. Jacob Murrow is Whiskey, I believe is how you say it, who pitched for the Dodgers, product of Sequoia High School.
Yeah, Robleski, I believe. Yeah,
Robleski.
Robleski, yeah.
I'm thinking of the Brewers pitcher.
Yeah, he got the Sunday start against the Braves in that third game of that series, I believe, from last weekend.
Yeah, so, Sequoia High School product just a few years ago. Obviously, we talked about guys like Drew Waters,
Nick Markakis.
Just kind of up and down the road.
Different guys, yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of folks, especially coming out of Cherokee County. And by the way, Cherokee had a chance. They fell short in the quarterfinals. Etowah, though, did advance, so they are in the Final Four. North Paulding in there as well. North Cobb Christian. We had Coach Jimmy Keene on a couple weeks ago. We may very well see those guys in the championship as they take on Wesleyan starting today at 2:00. Game 1 is at 2:00 of that series today. Game 2 around 5:00 or so. So North Cobb Christian, the Eagles in the private school bracket, taking on Wesleyan. Kings Ridge, another kind of a local area private school, is also on the other side of that bracket as well. So a lot of familiar private school teams, and then of course, Cartersville, Kell Pope, several other teams, of course, involved in the Final Four as well. So regardless, we are going to have at least one, if not more, state championship teams next week. I mean, because obviously Pickens and Calhoun are playing today. One of those teams is going to advance to the state championship. We cover both those schools. So again, we'll definitely have at least one, but I have a feeling, a hunch that we're going to have a few more probably as well, if I had to guess. So. Yeah,
I mean, Etowah's got 3 players that are listed on the ML. If you look at like a mock draft, they're listed. So that's a heck of a ball club they have. That's Etowah baseball. I think everybody knows. And then Calhoun Pickens, man. I mean, that's you talk about a real even series just going into it. When I saw the draw, it's like, man, I wish they were on, opposite sides of the bracket.
Right.
But
that may very well be a preview of the state championship. I mean, it could have been, necessarily we'll see how it all plays out there. But yeah, the Dragons coming in at 33-3 overall, and Calhoun at 31-6. So again, man, you look at those teams and just what a year it's been for a lot of our high school area teams. And we'll talk about that and chop it up a little bit later in the program. Hey, speaking of chopping it up, here in segment 2, coming up on the other side of the break, it is our Tomahawk take. Now, it's been a week since we've had Coop on here, so we will talk a little bit about Bobby Cox and Ted Turner and some of the folks as well, and then we'll dive in further to this team and what has transpired over the last week or so right here on this Tailgate Thursday edition of the Morning Rant, presented by your friends at Green Heating and Cooling. This is the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sports sportspigradio.com.
You entrusted your loved one's care to a nursing home, expecting compassion and quality treatment. Instead, they suffered from neglect, abuse, bed sores, falls, or medication errors that could have been prevented. I'm Chris Brown from Geiger Legal Group. Our elderly deserve dignity and proper care, not negligence that causes pain and suffering. When nursing homes fail in their duty of care, we fight to hold them accountable. Your loved one's suffering matters. We'll stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves.
Call Geiger Legal Group at 833-HELP-GLG and let us tell your story today.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, the official home for the Atlanta Braves baseball. Big opinions of the big games from the big mouths.
Man, I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the Morning Rant on WPGY The Sports Pig, North Georgia's home for ESPN Radio.
Sit down.
Back here on a Tailgate Thursday with my man, the Golden Boy Will Cooper, Dave Garner with you till 11 o'clock. Again, Chuck Oliver on deck with Southern Sports Today, the king of college football, chopping it up, NIL, all that good stuff here on a Thursday as we work our way later into the week. Again, our Jasper Coca-Cola text line is open, 866-888-0744. Again, 866-888-0744. That's zero pig, zero PIG, 0744. Again, text us. Let us know what you think about any things we're talking about here today. Again, Braves memories. We've been talking a lot about Bobby Cox, of course, Ted Turner, the passing of those two gentlemen, and really virtually in the same week. A tough week for Braves country. But I haven't had a chance to talk to you yet, Coop, as my Thursday co-host, since all that kind of went down with Bobby Cox necessarily last week there. But certainly a lot of memories, a lot of stories coming out, a lot of former players, of course, reminiscing. And Bobby Cox, fourth all-time in managerial wins, by the way, ahead of another former Braves manager in Joe Torre, who's fifth overall. But again, man, Bobby Cox, all-time ejections leader, man. I don't think anybody's ever going to catch up to him at all. But, man, your thoughts on kind of a rough week for the Braves now moving forward?
And, prayers with the family, first thought, but, getting into the legacy of Bobby. I think if you're any sort of Braves fan, in this city, the reason that the Braves are the way they are, the reason that, when you look at a rap music video from Atlanta, they're wearing the script A and not the Falcons, or they're wearing the Hawks, they're wearing the Braves, because I think that comes from the fact that they were the team of the 90s. And a lot of that has to do with how Bobby Cox managed, obviously, we know all the stories at the clubhouse, how he was a guy that would battle for his guys, even if he knew they were wrong. We've heard that kind of time and time again from guys like Smoltz, Glav, Maddox, about how, they would argue a pitch knowing that they were wrong, and Cox would come out there and just, raise absolute hell just to say he could. Defended Chipper, when we got into the baby Braves era, guys like Francoeur, McCann, Freddie, he's a key piece of keeping those guys together. It's the legacy stretches out not only across the 80s and 90s, but also even into my lifetime. When I think about the fact he managed for a decade of my life, that's kind of crazy to think about. Because when you watch the videos, they're talking about, the 90s and 80s, but he was a huge part of my life too. He's the only manager I knew for the first decade. Yeah, definitely transcended generations for sure. Bobby Cox's managerial career with the Braves, and also stints with the Blue Jays as well, and a previous stint with Atlanta as part of their organization before eventually coming back, as we know, there in the early 90s. But 14 straight division titles. I mean, a lot of different things that you can talk about with Bobby Cox during his tenure, but definitely a legend. And the Braves moving forward will wear the number 6 stitched on the back of their caps for the remainder of the season. And, I'm not wanting to make light of it, but I hope in some way maybe this will be a special season for the Braves, and that maybe they can honor him with a World Series championship. I mean, that would be the best way, I think, to do that, right? Well, I mean, it's already been a real special start to the season, so they're off to a great run. So, if we're honoring his legacy, we should win 100 games and lose the World Series. So, hopefully we learn something along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I always said, like a couple years ago or whatever, maybe we can win just enough just to barely get into the wild card, because that always seems to be the team that ends up doing it. And we did that. We barely got in by the skin of our teeth, 2 seasons ago, and still got whipped right off the bat there. So maybe this year's a little bit different, but nonetheless, the Atlanta Braves are off to a fast start. And speaking of, it's time now for this week's Tomahawk Take.
It's time to chop on.
Swung on and jolted high in the air, deep right field, back to the wall, a sonic boom out of the ballpark. Braves win it.
From Truist Park to every corner of Braves country, we've got your daily dose of Atlanta Braves baseball.
A walk-off grand slam, and this place erupts here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Highlights, hot takes, and all things red, white, and navy. It's the Tomahawk Take on WPGY, the Sports Pig.
All right, so the Braves get another dub last night. They get it done over the Cubs 4-1. They've already taken the first 2 games of the series over a team that, again, was also one of the hottest teams in baseball, the Chicago Cubs, nipping at the Braves' heels for the best record in all of baseball. But the Braves continuing their streak, coming off a 6-3 road trip last week, and then carrying that momentum right over into the start of a homestand for Atlanta.
Yeah, they've done fantastic. If you're like me, I saw the loss, 2 games at the end of that series in Seattle, knowing that the Dodgers were coming up, and I thought, oh boy, this is where the run kind of ends. When you look back at their schedule, when we started the season against the Royals, against the A's, against the Tigers, against the Marlins, the Phillies were horrible. You kind of sit back and say, we didn't really play anybody yet.
Yeah.
Well, then they lose the first game in L.A., and you're thinking, man, this 3 games in a row. West Coast swings are always hard on East Coast teams. Offense has slowed way down. And, yeah, since then they've rolled off 4 more wins. They've won 20 of their last 26.
Yeah.
They're humming on all cylinders right now. The thing that I think is most encouraging is it seems like every time we get through a series, there's something new.
Yeah.
If you've noticed this, we get through Seattle, J.R. Ritchie. We get through L.A.
Right.
We're going to have Ha-Seong Kim back playing shortstop. When we get to the end of this series, we're right on the heels of Eli White and Ronald Acuna Jr. being back.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like he won't be activated until after the homestand, but he's at about 50% activity. And, they just keep rotating guys. Obviously Sean Murphy broke his middle left finger. That sucks because he's going to be out for at least 8 weeks, they're saying. So Sandy Leon comes in on a major league contract. He was playing in the Mexican Baseball League on Wednesday.
He was down there with Kenny Powers, and then all of a sudden here he is. Yeah, called up to the club.
Yeah, gets called up, knocks a base hit, wins 2 challenges, and catches, a little bit of 1-run baseball for us. So, fantastic depth that they have. I all in all, if you're a Braves fan, I don't know what you can really complain about. Maybe Grant Holmes annoys you, but
and even at that, he had a decent start the other night there. He just ran into a little bit of trouble, in that 5th inning there and it was a 1-hitter. That's what got lost in the shuffle is, the Braves 1-hit the Cubs the other night in that opening game. Grant Holmes, though, taken out, didn't, he went in for the 5th inning, I think, and wasn't able. He walked 3 or 4 guys, or what have you, and so they yanked him. But the bullpen has really come through here in the early going. As we talk about our Atlanta Braves right here as part of our Tomahawk Take, presented by your friends at Northside Hospital Cherokee. But you look at this lineup, and I think the most impressive thing, and you just touched on it, no matter what combination Walt has thrown out there, it seems to work. Last night you had, of course, you had Ha-Seong Kim back in the lineup at shortstop. To your point, you had Sandy Leon, and you also had Ozokar. Jose Azokar. Like I said, I don't even know all these guys, so I can't even pronounce their name right. But he was in right field last night. He gets a hit. Dubon, of course, with another home run in the leadoff spot last night. And, of course, Drake with another rake as well in the ball game there as he continues to do what he does. So even you're winning games with guys that aren't going to be your everyday players, or at least you don't expect them to be later in the year. You're winning without guys like Ronald Ronald Acuna. One of the most encouraging things that I've seen so far over the last couple of weeks is it seems like Austin Riley is finally kind of starting to come around. We're starting to see him really put the barrel on the ball.
Yeah, it's funny looking at his next-gen stats on a place like Baseball Savant. The barrels weren't the problem. The contact wasn't the problem. Chase percentage was down. Walks were up. It was, his on-base percentage wasn't even horrible.
Yeah.
It was just his knocks were all fly balls that were kind of out and easy.
Right.
Since then, one thing that they've changed is he's not dipping the hip. He's staying on a plain field, and that's a little less power, but we got to develop the contact that's quality to get back the power. But you mentioned he's batting over 310 in May, hit 3 home runs this month. I believe he leads the teams, or at least he did going into last night, with 8 RBIs and 7 runs himself.
Yeah.
So, he's getting back right, and that's exactly what they need, because when guys like Matt Olson, who's not a career 300 hitter, is inevitably going to bat 270. That's the regression that we're seeing. Ozzie was hitting 326. We know he's not a 326 hitter. He may be a 280 hitter. There's a regression there. So those regressions are happening, but that's the beauty of this lineup, is that while that's happening, Mauricio Dubon carries and Austin Riley carries. And if you happen to have Sandy Leon, Ha-Seong Kim, and Randy Azokar that, pick it up, then fine, that's good.
Everybody's talking about, you traded away Nick Allen for Dubon, and that's looking pretty good right now, And so, hey, I wanted to talk to you real quick, too. We're going to spend this segment talking about the Braves, and then on the other side of the break, we'll dive back into some high school news, and we will have Coach Adam Williams join us right here on the Morning Rant. Spencer Strider, obviously, he's kind of gotten back into it a little bit. His metrics are looking like the old Spencer Strider, and I wanted to ask you specifically about that because you are a next-gen guy. I know you keep up with that kind of stuff. Your thoughts on Strider now as he kind of gets back into the groove?
Yeah, the spin rate's back up to where you think it would be. He's developed a really good curveball, which is something he didn't used to have. Used to be purely fastball change slider. The curveball is absolute nightmare fuel for any left-handed hitters. It breaks off the table away from them, and you got to get the barrel head around when a guy throws 98. But yeah, the spin rate's good. The rise on the fastball is back. He's back to 2023, 2022-esque Spencer Strider. I hesitate to put him back in like the 2021 category because he was throwing 101, which isn't realistic for him anyway. But yeah, I mean, he's come back. And again, it bolsters the rotation in a huge way. I mean, now your top 3 is Chris Sale, Spencer Strider, and Bryce Elder, which, I think we all would have been shocked or happy that Bryce Elder had a sub-2 ERA coming into this.
Right, yeah, exactly. And you still got the depth because you've kind of been going with the 6-man rotation right here. I mean, you've had Ronaldo Lopez, you've had Chris J.R. Ritchie, that's the outstanding newbie that's come up who pitched last night, had another solid outing last night, of course, holding the Cubs to just 1 run. Today the final game of the series, the Braves have already won the series, so still. You go back to that Seattle series, the only series the Braves have lost this year, but then to be able to bounce back the way they did to win 2 against the Doyers, and then to come back home and already take 2, of 3 at worst from Chicago, who's the next best record in baseball. You've played 2 pretty good series against 2 pretty good teams back to back already. Now you just hope they can keep the momentum rolling right there. But very encouraging, I think, what we're seeing out of Spencer Strider and really top to bottom in this lineup, no matter what combination you throw out there, and that's very encouraging. But yeah, who would have thought, man, Dubon would have brought a bat with him the way that he has, and the flexibility of being able to put him out in left field. And even Yaz put one in the chop house the other night. So that's encouraging because one of the things he said was, look, I know I haven't been doing a whole lot, but, the confidence that Walt has that he keeps trotting him out there, maybe he's feeding off of that. So I really like so far what Walt Weiss has done with this Braves team to keep guys involved no matter who's in the lineup. Because, I'm telling you, about every other night you look and you're like, who's this guy? Where'd he come from? But these guys are contributing. And so it's a nice thing to have, like to your point, man, the depth is a nice luxury to have for this Atlanta Braves team.
Yeah, and there's super long lineup when you get to have Drake Baldwin behind the plate and you have Dom Smith as your DH. And, again, we're talking about Yastrzemski. The next-gen stats are not good on Yastrzemski. I know he's had a couple of good games, but that's a replacement for Ronald Acuna right there. You're going to get to that lineup, and seriously, your 7, 8, 9 guys are going to end up being Mauricio Dubon, Ha-Seong Kim, and I guess like Dom Smith maybe bats seventh. The lineup is just ridiculous when they're all the way back. So that's the scary part. They're not even there yet. Neither is the rotation. We got 3 all-star level pitchers that'll be back this year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Again, the Tomahawk Take presented by your friends at Northside Hospital Cherokee right here on this Tailgate Thursday edition of the Morning Rant. Once again, our Jasper Coca-Cola text line is open, 866-888-0744. We did get one comment coming here. We'll talk about after the break right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Financial scams are on the rise, and with AI, they're getting more and more sophisticated every day. If someone pressures you to act quickly, ask for secrecy, or request payment through gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency, stop. Legitimate financial professionals don't rush you or demand unusual payment methods. Before you send money or share personal information, slow down and verify. Protect your future. When in doubt, ask questions.
If you're suspicious of a scam, call the team at Foundation Wealth today at 706-278-0214.
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, your official home for flag-to-flag coverage of NASCAR. We bring the heat. You bring the trash talk.
Come on, man. Are you serious?
It's the Morning Rant, live on the Sports Pig app and sportspigradio.com.
Back here on the program on a Tailgate Thursday, this is the Morning Rant. I'm the Professor Dave Garner, again joined by the Golden Boy Will Cooper, our Braves insider. We just wrapped up our Tomahawk Take. We'll talk more about the Braves, though, a little bit later in the show because, hey, why not, man? When you're the first team to 30 wins, let's keep the party going. Speaking of keeping the party going, tomorrow the Friday Happy Hour will be the Friday Happy Hours as we broadcast live from Bradley's Bar and Grill. Again, it has been East Cobb's favorite watering hole since 1998. Now, we did get a listener text us in a little bit more information. I'm assuming this has got to be somebody that has to do with Bradley's because, man, their description of this place was way too good. But it says always delivering good food, friendly service, and a cool atmosphere. And the biggest thing, man, they have clean bathrooms. They're like Buc-ee's, right? They got clean bathrooms. What more could you ask for? Again, a lot of neighbors, again, hang out over there in East Cobb down off of Lower Roswell Road. So, again, if you're always looking for that diamond in the rough kind of place, and I know like you and I, Coop, tend to like those kind of places, then stop by once and you'll be hooked. Bradley's Bar and Grill. And what better time to get there than tomorrow because we'll be live from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. And they're going to open up a little earlier tomorrow. But again, brunch and lunch, mimosas, wings, you name it, 50-cent wings. You can't beat that. So, again, we're looking forward to that tomorrow as part of our 3-hour Friday Happy Hour edition of the Morning Rant. Hey, we were talking a little bit earlier in the program about high school baseball, and I did want to kind of touch on that a little bit more because we're very proud of our teams. And I wanted to bring in one of the high school baseball coaches here in our area to talk a little bit more about their series. Joining us right now on the program here in segment 3 of our program today as we kick off our Prep Rally High School Roundup. We've got Pickens High School baseball coach Adam Williams joining us right now on the program there. Coach, thanks for being with us. Your team comes in to the Final Four today, 33-3 overall, 18-3 in the region this year. You guys, of course, region champs again, your second straight appearance in the Final Four. You guys have been a mainstay in the postseason now for the last 4 or 5 years, and really since your arrival for that matter. Talk about the team this year and why you guys have been able to have such another successful season.
Well, first of all, we have really good players. So really good players help you win a lot of games. Yep. So it's really good when you run our pitching staff out there with AJ Rice and Christian Starks and Everett Grubbs. We've got people out of the bullpen like Robert Turner and Dylan Walls and kids that have started and contributed all year like Jackson Nunn and MT Crenshaw. Our lineup's been really, really solid. Robert Turner sets the tone at the top, and then Jennings Allen does a good job in the 2-hole, and Cam Jenkins has just been a rock behind the plate. He hits third for us and has just driven in runs all year. So we've just been getting contributions from all kind of kids throughout the year, and they've played hard, they've competed, and I'm really happy for them. I'm glad they get this opportunity to keep playing.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. And, you talk about Calhoun, of course, the opponent, tonight, and maybe over the next couple of days, if things go well, maybe there won't be a day two. Again, games 1 and 2 again scheduled for tonight right here, Coach. But again, Sweet 16 4 years ago, Elite 8 2 years ago. Last year, as we mentioned, Final Four. You guys are back in there, so you've basically stair-stepped every year over the last 4 years, and now you've got a very good Calhoun team standing in your way here in the Final Four for a chance to go to the state championship. What do you think about those guys tonight going into that matchup?
They're going to be good. They're Calhoun. EBR Prep Baseball Report said they have the best pitching staff in the state. So, we're going to have our work cut out for us to go over there and try to compete with those guys. So we're going to go in to their place, which is, we'll get a little adversity, go play and do our best and see what happens.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. That's really all you can do, putting all the chips on the table right there against a Calhoun, a traditionally very good Yellow Jacket team. One of the hardest things, I think, for a lot of the mountain schools, as we call them, is maintaining success, because you really do have to rely on the hand that you're dealt. But you guys, over the last several years, we just got through talking about, have been able to maintain success now for several years. What's the reason for that? What are some things that you guys do in the program to be able to consistently maintain a successful baseball program, especially, you're not a city school, you're not a private school, you're really the only county school in Pickens County, but yet you guys have been able to maintain that success, man. Why is that?
Well, first of all, we have really good players. So really good players help you win a lot of games.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really good
yeah.
when you run, our pitching staff out there with AJ Rice and Christian Starks and Everett Grubbs, and got people out of the bullpen like Robert Turner and Dylan Walls, and kids that have started and contributed all year like Jackson Nunn and MT Crenshaw. Our lineup's been really, really solid. Robert Turner sets the tone at the top, and then Jennings Allen does a good job in the 2-hole, and Cam Jenkins has just been a rock behind the plate. He hits third for us and has just driven in runs all year. So we've just been getting contributions from all kind of kids throughout the year, and they've played hard, they've competed, and I'm really happy for them. I'm glad they get this opportunity to keep playing.
Yeah, I love it. Coach, I've heard you, at different Rotary Club meetings, what have you, different things, certainly over the years.
They're going to be good. They're Calhoun. EBR Prep Baseball Report said they have the best pitching staff.
Hold on. Hold on there. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me get back to that one there real quick. Again, no. I'm trying to think here. Okay. All right. Yeah. I think we ended that one right there. So okay. Hold on. Let's try that again here in just a moment. But again, Coach Adam Williams joining us right here on the morning rant. You've been selling the program now.
I think there's a lot of factors.
Shoot, man. There's some technical difficulty going on right there with the last question I was going to ask. So again, it started replaying your track, Coach, for some reason. It must have recorded it and started playing it back there. But nonetheless, Coach Williams, thanks for being with us right here on the program. Going to have to let you go there on that note. But again, Coach Adam Williams, the Pickens Dragons, his team getting set to take on Calhoun tonight in the Final Four. And we wish them and all of our local area teams the best moving forward. And Coop, I know you have covered high school sports in North Georgia for a long time. As you said, Coach Williams, a friend of yours. So again, it's going to be exciting to see what happens tonight, man. We'll know a lot more over the weekend.
I got to give him credit for that dead-on repeat answer of the lineup, bullpen, and rotation.
This thing,
that guy's got his.
Well, we were trying to record it. We're trying to record the clip so that we can save it, and send it to him, give it to him as a packaged interview there. And for whatever reason, it was like trying to re-record and play the answer. I'm glad it didn't do that to me or you. Like we could have busted right back into the Tomahawk take, somehow or another. So I'm glad that didn't happen right there. But again, thanks to Coach Adam Williams for the time right here on the morning rant. Hey, Coop, let's talk a little bit about some of the other things going on here again with. some of the things with NBA, NHL playoffs, different things going on right there. Let's talk a little bit real quick about the NBA. Of course, tonight, as I kind of get back to my notes here real quick, again, the Knicks and OKC already in the clubhouse at 4-0. San Antonio leading 3-2 over the Timberwolves. They'll go at it tomorrow night in Game 6. Cleveland also with a 3-2 advantage now on the Pistons as well. So a couple of essentially best of 3 series left to determine the bracket there. You been paying attention to any of that?
Yeah, I always enjoy watching the Lakers get bounced. That's always fun. New York is as solid as we thought they were going to be. Kind of makes losing the series look pretty good.
Right.
You didn't get swept by the Knicks, so that's not bad.
Right.
Talking about the Hawks, view of it. And then, look, you look at teams like San Antonio and Detroit that typically coming into this season, I don't think a lot of people had pinned for a second-round playoff team. Both of them have put up incredible fights. Wemby with San Antonio has done a fantastic job, and it's a fun playoff right now. It's nice to get some diversification away from the typical guard of the the Denver Nuggets, excuse me.
Yeah.
And the Lakers. It's nice to see some fresh teams in there. Obviously OKC and Cleveland are kind of what we thought they would be. But the rest of the teams have been a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully anybody can step up and make sure the Knicks don't win it. That's really the main thing.
At the end of the day, that's really what it's all about right there. Hey, NHL real quick, was to kind of move around here before we go into the last segment of the program. The Avalanche get it done in overtime last night. They defeat the Minnesota Wild. They take the series 4-1. Again, meanwhile, on the other side of that, you've got the Golden Knights and Anaheim. Vegas right now 3-2 the advantage there as they try to wrap up that series. And then meanwhile, over on the other side of the bracket, again, the Sabres and Canadiens deadlocked at 2 apiece. And meanwhile, the Carolina Hurricanes are just sitting back, healing bumps and bruises as they swept their series, waiting on the rest of the series to play out so that they'll know their opponent for the conference semifinals, if you will. So, yeah, all that is part of the Stanley Cup playoffs, man. And I know you pay attention to a little hockey, too, out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, Carolina and Colorado, you would think, are probably your 2 favorite teams. I mean, collectively, they've lost 1 playoff game, and that was the Avs dropping 1 to Minnesota. On the other sides of the bracket, you look at Vegas and Anaheim. Anaheim's given Vegas everything they can handle. Mark Stone has been out for the Knights. Been a very hard sledding for them in the last 2 games. Anaheim forcing them into overtime. Anaheim's a fun team to watch. Young, fast, not super skilled, but just all over the place. And then just a knockdown, bruising fight going on between Montreal Canadiens and the Sabres, man. I mean, 2 very talented teams. The Sabres were one of the favorites to be in the Stanley Cup, play off the official one for the championship.
Yeah.
And they're getting everything they can handle from the Canadiens right now. So it's been a great playoff. It's a lot of fun. Obviously our household is rooting for the Ducks over the Vegas Golden Knights, but also at the same time, being a Sharks fan, it's always good to see Tomas Hertl 2 games with a goal after 26 games without a goal. So good for him, man.
I like it, man. You're all up on it right here, man, on this Tailgate Thursday edition of the Morning Rant. Hey, when we come back, 1 segment left, man. Time flies, as we say when you're having fun. We're going to talk about the PGA Championship a little bit. We'll dive into the Preakness, some NASCAR, and the Cooper Predictor. All that and more coming up in the final segment of the program today. We appreciate you guys being with us. Hey, give us a visit on social media. Again, the Sports Pig on Facebook. The Morning Rant is on Instagram. You can also catch full video episodes daily on YouTube. Our show uploaded every day to our website as well. The podcast version on sportspigradio.com and wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast. I'm at Dave Garner 777. He's at Will24 Cooper on Twitter. And this is the Morning Rant. Once again, our Coca-Cola text line is open, 866-888-0744. We'll be right back right here on this Tailgate Thursday edition of the Morning Rant on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia on the Sports Pig app and online at sportspigradio.com.
Whatever cooling solution makes the most sense, Green Heating and Cooling is ready to help. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new cooling system, Green will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort. With Green, you get more than just a technician. You get someone who's committed to meeting your needs and achieving a high level level of training and skills. Someone backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Nobody understands the ins and outs of home comfort like Green. So whatever your situation or budget, Green Heating and Cooling has a solution for you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Grand Slam!
98.1 and 93.7 The Sports Pig, the official home for the Atlanta Braves baseball.
Morning grind with Pork Rind.
Welcome to the show.
It's the Morning Rant, weekday mornings from 10 to 11 on 98.1, 93.7, and 101.1 on the H2 dial. WPGY, the Sports Pig.
What's up? Back here for the final segment of this Tailgate Thursday. Dave Garner with you inside the Carriage Kia Studios with our man, Will Cooper, the Golden Boy, joining us here on this Tailgate Thursday presented by Green Heating and Cooling. Once again, they've been getting it done since 1971. Hey, they can get it done for you too. Call Green Heating and Cooling today and get that diagnostic, as I did the other day. Yes, I did. A lot of times, you know, when you're pitching things and you're on the radio or whatever, and people always wonder, I wonder if they really do use the service or drive the car that they say they do or what have you. I can tell you firsthand, yes, I do use the pros at Green Heating and Cooling. I had my system replaced, as I said in one of the commercials back in, I think, November, and man, still feeling the difference. And I'm just about, I've got two units. I've got a downstairs unit as well that's about to be kaput. It's on the outs, and I'm going to have to replace that one soon, too. And so I'm actually working with the guys right now at Green Heating and Cooling on some options. And they've got some pretty inexpensive ones, honestly, that will even fit my poor man's budget. So, again, call them up today. Give them a shout. Green Heating and Cooling. They service all of North Georgia, mostly, you know, Canton, Jasper, LJ kind of area along the 575 corridor. But again, give them a shout because they really do have some good things working for them. Hey, again, appreciate you guys being right here on this Thursday edition, this Tailgate Thursday edition of the Morning Rant, right here on the home of ESPN Radio in North Georgia. Chuck Oliver up next here, right at 11 o'clock. As we dive into the world of college football. I know there's some things going on right now with the expanded playoff field. I want to make sure we have time to talk about the Predictor, but I did want to get your thoughts on that, Coop, because I know, like the rest of the co-hosts here on the show and myself, we're big football guys, but your thoughts on the playoff field potentially being expanded to 24 teams.
Yeah,
you're already shaking your head.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, you know, there are a few bad faith arguments that I've heard on this. You know, one of the most common is, you know, that we'll look at other leagues. They have, you know, if you do a percentage of teams that are in the league, you know, like the NFL includes 40% or whatever. Yeah. And if you take it to 24 teams out of FBS teams, because you're not just talking about Power 4 anymore. Right. Oh, you would only include 18% or whatever. Here's why that's stupid. Because the NFL, 32 teams, the assumption is that everybody can make a run to the playoffs, even teams that we don't expect, like the Jets or the Dolphins, with a good offseason can put together something. Yeah. I don't care how good Miami, Ohio puts together their offseason. They're not competitive. I mean, we saw James Madison get run out of the building against Oregon. Right. We saw Tulane get run out of the building. It's a stupid argument. Horrible argument. Should you know, if we ever expanded it, it shouldn't be by much. I know the coaches love it and the administration loves it because, oh, look at all the money you can get in. But for the fans, it's stupid. It's dumb. Yeah. You know, I suppose selfishly as Alabama, Georgia fans, you know, we would be the type of people that would say it's great because then you can lose 4 games because the argument would be, you know, 8-4 Alabama is probably still good enough to be in.
That's what we talked about. I mean, you're going to have 4 lost teams that are going to say, well, if you look at our schedule, we deserve to be in. I mean, where does it stop? I mean, you've already got 5 and 7 teams playing in bowl games, you know, and as it is, you got too many bowl games. There are some things on the table that I do like, though, and we've talked about it. We talked about it a little bit last week as far as conference championships, maybe going away, maybe not. We've had some different opinions on the show. I think you're a little bit different than what Big John feels as well as far as the conference championships go. Diminishing the bye weeks, you know, the Army-Navy game. I mean, all those things are in play and on the table right now when we talk about the world of college football.
Yeah, I mean, the Army-Navy game argument's weird to me. Who cares that Toledo, and I hate to pick on the state of Ohio, but they're just so weird. Toledo and Miami, Ohio are playing at noon, on Army-Navy game week. Like, that was weird. Losing bye weeks is asinine. You're asking, again, we're asking non-professional athletes to dedicate their lives to a schedule. We're going to expand the playoff. That way we can remove a bye week because that's going to help with injury because nobody's ever had any injury problems.
Sense. Yeah, exactly.
And then, conference championships, really? That's what we want to do away with? I mean, what are we even do? Why don't we just do what March Madness is? Why don't we throw the top 64 teams in a bracket? Screw a regular season. Let's just decide what we're going to do, 5 games in, and then roll.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of different arguments can be made, I think, at this point with everything on the table. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But, again, a lot of these changes look like they're going into effect sooner than later. It was always like, well, we're going to expand it out to 12 or 16. It'll be 3 or 4 years from now. No, I mean, a lot of these are immediate changes, i.e. the March Madness field going to 76 or what have you, and now the college football playoff could very well be expanded to 24 by next year, I believe, is what they're looking at, I think. So, a lot of these changes all of a sudden are able to be pushed through pretty quick now because I think there's so much pressure on the NCAA to deliver. Hey, horse racing this weekend. Preakness, man, who you got? You got anybody in that gig there? We're going to try to do a little bit of a host pool right here. I got to be honest with you, man. I mean, I was anticipating all the same horses in the Derby being in the Preakness. That ain't the case, man. I got to relearn it.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the field yet, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's you got me into the Kentucky Derby. Credit to you and your beautiful wife Liz on helping me learn the sport. But it's not something that I like.
I saw your pictures. You got all dressed up, right? Didn't you get all dressed up and y'all go watch the race somewhere? I think a couple weeks ago.
Must have been your other friend.
No, it must have not been for the Derby, but I've seen you rock a suit or something, for something. I mean, you're always
in the last month.
Yeah, I think so. I thought you had like a good Derby outfit. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I thought I saw you rocking something out there, but
it might have been in your dream. I know you dream about me a lot.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah. Well, let's just chalk it up to that. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Hey, our Jasper Coca-Cola text line, by the way, is open. Let's transition away here. 866-888-0744. Again, let us know what you think about the Preakness this weekend and the PGA Championship. I know you do follow a little bit of golf, and we talk about the Cooper Predictor, which we'll do here to close the show in just a minute. But any favorites for you as far as the PGA Championship goes?
Man, it's been a hard year for the Predictor on that one. The back test data showed that it was a 65% winner. This year, it's been about a 56 winner. It is marginally profitable, but I haven't brought it here because I'm not here to give you marginal profit. Man.
Yeah, but what about you? Personal though for you? I mean, this weekend, like who you like? I mean, if you're just paying attention to it and casually watching it, man, you got Rory. You got one of those live guys. There's 11 live guys in the field, by the way. So,
yeah, I know, and their futures in great uncertainty.
Right.
I kind of think McIlroy is probably a Masters merchant, if you will, since that's what he sits around and just practices all the time.
Yeah.
But Tommy Fleetwood type of guy, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe somebody coming out of an unexpected territory for you this weekend in the PGA Championship. Hey, we just had a listener text us on our Jasper Coca-Cola text line, said NIL changes everything. Players are paid now, so they are considered pro. And that's a good point. We always talk about it. I mean, college is like the new pro. High school is like the new college with the way kids move around. Pro is a retirement vehicle. I mean, that's where you go to make the rest of your money to live the rest of your life. So, again, we do appreciate the call there. No name and number, or no name on that one. But again, whoever you are, man, out there in the listening world, we appreciate you listening to this Tailgate Thursday edition of the Morning Rant. Time now to make some predictions.
It's time for the weekly Cooper Predictor.
60% of the time, it works every time.
On the Morning Rant.
All right, so weekly feature right here. We bring the Cooper Predictor to the show on Thursdays with my man, the Golden Boy Will Cooper, and you've been focusing a lot on tennis lately and baseball as well. So what you got for us here to close out the show?
Yeah, I could give you some tennis picks, but to be honest with you, I'm going to stick right at home. MLB Predictor's flashing this one. Big, bold letters. Braves. They're about minus 160 on the line right now. That is a steal. Chris Sale going. The Cubs are below 500 against left-handed pitchers. You have one of the best lefties in Chris Sale taking the mound. The Braves are not great in day games, but they're staying at home, so it's a night game.
Yep.
The Cubs are now below 500 on the road, if you can believe that. They've won 15 straight games at home.
Yeah.
Below 500 on the road.
Wow.
So not a great road team. Chris Sale, again, taking the mound. And again, they will be facing a left-handed pitcher. The Braves have the best record in baseball against left-handed pitchers. This is a 3-signal, full tilt, go Braves. Again, don't bet on sports, you degenerates. But if you're going to, I recommend doing prediction markets. It's the legal way to do it in Georgia. You can get your money instantly. And that's my legal disclaimer.
There we go. So you like the Braves to complete the sweep tonight. 7:15 first pitch, by the way. You can hear all the coverage right here live on sportspigradio.com and on the app, as well as over the air. But you do like the Braves to go ahead and just finish them off tonight.
Yeah, I don't like them. It's my model. I think that's an important distinction. When I give you my picks, I genuinely have no say. Yeah. I'm just telling you what my formula outputs, because sometimes I disagree with it, but
yep. What? Hey, 60% of the time, it works every time. No, it's even better than that when it comes to certain things, especially high school football, which we'll talk about later on. But yeah, Braves wrapping up the series tonight against the Cubs, 7:15 tonight, first pitch. And then the Red Sox come to town for a 3-game set before the Braves head back on the road to take on the Marlins for a 4-game set at the beginning of next week. Hey, about out of time on the show here today. Once again, my man Will Cooper bringing it on a Tailgate Thursday, presented by your friends at Green Heating and Cooling. We've had a great show. We've kind of moved it around, talked about a lot of different things. We had Coach Adam Williams on with us briefly in the second segment as his Pickens Dragons get set to take on the Calhoun Yellow Jackets tonight over in Calhoun for Final Four and a berth in the state championship on the line. Again, go Etowah, go Cartersville, go North Cobb Christian, of course, North Paulding, Kell's involved, Pope's involved. So again, looking forward to seeing who all can make it to next week's state championships as they get set to move to some neutral tracks. Coop, thanks for being with us right here on the program, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy. Good to see you.
There you go. As we always say each and every day, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. We'll see you next time right here on The Morning Rant. Hey, visit us on social media. SportsPig is on Facebook. The Morning Rant is on Instagram. You can also catch full video episodes daily on YouTube. The podcast version of the show is on sportspigradio.com, our website, and wherever you listen to your favorite daily podcast. Once again, I'm Dave Garner. And that is Will Cooper. Again, on Twitter, I'm Dave Garner777. He's Will24 Cooper, and this is The Morning Rant. Thanks for being with us. Chuck Oliver up next. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 3 hours, beginning at 10 a.m. from Bradley's Bar and Grill.
Tired of shouting your business's name into the void and getting nothing but crickets? Your brand deserves more than awkward billboard glances and flyers lining bird cages. Right now, listeners are hearing me ramble on instead of your ad. That's a touchdown for missed opportunities and a fumble for your wallet.
Recovered, Atlanta, game over.
Your ad could be here, making fans laugh, cheer, and most importantly, call you. Go to sportspigradio.com or call 678-454-9552 and get your business off the bench and into the game.